Take two. Alright guys, got another episode of Whitetail Wednesday for you. Figured this week would be a good opportunity to talk about my first trail camera pull of the year. I pulled this last week, Thursday or something like that, and had some interesting observations as I looked through some of the photos and figured why not show you guys some of the pictures and some of the observations that came along with this first camera pull of the year. Without further ado, let's get into the photos here. Well, here's the first picture, kind of grainy, but this is kind of the first close to daylight picture that I had on this trail camera. It was 7 o'clock on October 13th. Pretty nice buck. And our first daylight photo was on the 15th, 6:30. Another quality buck. That'd be something I would shoot. Now here's the big boy that really has me interested in this scrape, potentially for next year. Came through in the 18th in the morning. It was a cornfield that he was coming off of to the scrape. Just cruising through this doe bedding area. The scrape's right in the middle of a doe bedding area. Absolute beauty of a buck here. Get to see him work a scrape here. These couple pictures are my favorite pictures of him. Super cool buck. See that he just got done rubbing too. Super cool buck. Zoom up for you guys. Going back to work the scrape again. Then in the PM, have another nice buck coming through. So middle of October, trail camera's fairly hot. Then got the rut time period. Got another pretty decent buck coming into the scrape in the morning, probably coming off that cornfield. And on Halloween in the evening, coming through, beginning of November, another really nice buck right there. Absolute beauty. October 6th, looks to be that same buck doing a circuit through there. Then gun season, another nice buck. So I'm not sure if you guys picked up on anything interesting from, just looking at those few photos. Just one observation that stuck out for me is that in this area, this scrape kind of is used in windows. So our first daylight photo was 13th, and that hot streak lasted till about the evening 18th. So that's a hot window. That's what I call that, where you have a flurry of buck activity in that area. So I'll be really focusing on that time period, that 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th of getting in there. Probably, hopefully, if I can get in there in the 17th or 18th, and if that bigger buck's still alive, I'm gonna throw a sit at it then. Then that next window is that pre-rut early, that very early rut time period, is that second window on this trail camera where it was the 30th to like the 3rd, 6-ish, was another flurry of activity on this trail camera. That might be another window. I think this is why I like to, set up cameras for the year and just let them soak, is because you can figure out these windows when these areas can be hot and when they're not hot. So I hope if you take anything away from this is don't be afraid to let those cameras soak and gain intel for that year so you can use this year's intel for next year's hunting. So that's a big point of advice for you. And I do have something cool that I was able to capture on this trail camera. It's no big bucks or anything, but I think it's a pretty cool buck fight that was completely captured photo by photo in this series of photos here. We'll get into those right now. So this is that same scrape, guys, and it's just super cool. You see, you know, faced away from each other, then starting to get a little aggressive with each other. This is into the rut time period, but it's just cool watching this play out frame by frame here. I haven't had this happen on a trail camera ever before. It's one of the cooler sequence of photos I have, and it's gonna be fun to see which one of these little guys ends up the champion and the other one walks away with its tail between his legs. So there he goes, got his butt kicked. Probably by his older brother. So yeah, pretty cool series of photos right there. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed that series of videos, the first kind of flurry of nice buck pictures, then the little buck fight. That's pretty cool. That's one of the coolest sequences I've recorded personally on a trail camera. Just seeing the entirety of the fight too was super cool. But yeah, I took all those pictures on a, you know, one of these cheap Tosco cameras here. Get them from Walmart for like 22 bucks or something like that. Sometimes they're cheaper. And haven't had any of them stolen yet. I just put a little Hobby Lobby leaves on it. I'm sure you guys can see that. Some of the leaves fell off throughout the fall. Gotta do some maintenance on them, but yeah, that little camouflage has done a good job for me. And yeah, and if you're a public land guy or a high school kid on a budget, or you just don't got a lot of money, they're a great option. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this little video here, and we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.